Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pony and Wolf Productions video. My name is VisualPony and today we are reading the story Discord Applies for Citizenship Papers by an author called CCC, or Triple C, as I would just say it, but it's written here literally as 3 capital C's, so CCC. Personally, I think the premise is nice, which is why I thought, okay, you know what, let's do this. And without further ado, let's do this! The Only Chapter. A lion paw and an eagle claw slammed onto the simple wooden desk. A long, sinuous body snaked down to bring its head down, eye to eye with the poor Pegasus behind the desk.
My name is Discord,
snarled Draconicus.
I'm older than Equestria, older than the princesses. I am older than the seas. I have seen the void between the stars. I have felt its hunger. I have seen entire species rise up, build civilizations and fall. Sometimes over the course of a single afternoon. I was already ancient when Equestria's sun first ignited, before the planet itself formed out of the primordial interstellar dust.
And, how many years would that be? Asked the Pegasus.
All of them,
growled Discord. That, The Pegasus glanced down at the paper on the desk, then looked up again. The form needs a number, he explained firmly. Discord growled.
How do you measure years when there isn't a sun or a planet to measure with?
He asked. Discord sighed.
Put down 5 billion,
he said finally.
That's close enough.
Okay, nodded the Pegasus. He looked down at the forms and looked up again. I'm only supposed to put in 1 digit per block.
So?
Asked Discord. Well, there's only 3 blocks, said the Pegasus nervously.
Oh, that's perfect,
yelled Discord.
Just perfect. Why, you'd think that the stupid ponies who designed this stupid format never ever thought that the Draconicals would ever try to get a set of citizenship documents. I'm half tempted to reach back in time and slap them over the head in the hopes that they'd be sensible.
You can do that? Asked the Pegasus nervously.
Of course I can do that!
Snapped Discord.
I'm Discord!
He sighed.
It's not as if there's...
He paused suddenly as a thought struck him.
Wait a minute,
said Discord suddenly.
The princesses. I know for a fact that their age is 4 digits long. How did they fill in the forms?
They've been citizens of Equestria for centuries, said the Pegasus. I don't know how they filled it out, but it must have been a long time ago. They might not have been 1,000 yet then, I guess.
This is ridiculous!
Yelled Discord.
Why are there only 3 boxes for age? I mean, there's a lot of creatures out there that can grow to more than 1,000 years old. What about dragons? How many dragons have ever tried to fill out this form?
1, said the Pegasus.
Ah, and what did he put?
Well, he didn't fill it out himself, said the Pegasus nervously. I understand he was 3 days old at the time.
3 days.
Yes, see? Easily under 3 digits. Yelled Discord.
3 digits? How am I supposed to fit my magnificent age into a mere 3 digits?
I have no idea, admitted the Pegasus.
3 digits,
muttered Discord.
3 digits.
He paced back and forth for a moment and then said,
Ah, 3 digits right in the first block. Put a 1.
Right, said the Pegasus, drawing a single stroke with a pen.
Then a 2. Right.
Right, 120.
No. 12. Now in the third block, raise it to the power of 9.
Wait, what?
Raise it to the power of 9,
said Discord smugly.
That's 5,159,780,352 years. Close enough.
The Pegasus nodded and frowned at the form. With great care, he put a 9 into the upper half of the third block. Right, he said. That's your name and your age so far. Of course, I'll need a copy of a birth certificate to go with this. Discord screamed in frustration. Parents' names.
Parents' names?
Asked Discord. Parents' names, said the Pegasus firmly.
I didn't have parents,
said Discord. So I can mark down orphans then? There was a long silence, then Discord spoke.
There's a box for that?
He asked. The Pegasus nodded.
And it doesn't lead to any additional forms or anything like that?
He asked. The Pegasus shook his head. On the contrary, he said. We can skip the entirety of section 14b, parents. Discord sank into his seat, sighing with happiness.
Well, that's good news, I guess. Right, so what's next?
4 hours later. Pegasus, Unicorn, Earth Pony, Griffin, Dragon, Minotaur, Zebra, or other? Asked the Pegasus.
Other,
snarled Discord.
Draconicus.
How do you spell that?
Draconequus.
The Pegasus started writing, then slowed down and stopped. He said. Discord sighed.
What is it now?
He asked. That's the 11 letters, said the Pegasus.
Yes, so?
There's only space here for 10 letters.
What?
10 letters, said the Pegasus, tapping the form. 10 little blocks, see? Discord's eye twitched. Maybe I could just leave out one of the letters? Asked the Pegasus. Discord stared at him for a long time, then threw his talon and paw up in the air.
Fine!
He yelled.
Fine, leave out a letter, see if I care.
Since you marked other, continued the Pegasus, you'll need to fill out supplementary species detail forms AZ-17, BR-12, TW-93, DI-37, and KE-53 to KE-92. Discord groaned. So, said Celestia, looking over the document in front of her. According to this, you're 129 years old?
That should be 12 to the 9th,
explained Discord. And you're a Draconicu? Discord sighed. Which, according to the supplementary forms you've filled in, is an endangered sapient creature which requires 2 liters of chocolate milk and 15 cupcakes a day for medical reasons?
I get cranky without them,
explained Discord. I don't think cranky counts as reason enough for medical reasons, said Celestia.
Oh, yes it does,
insisted Discord.
It's for my mental health.
What about your dental health? Asked Celestia.
No, not dental, mental.
I mean, explained Celestia calmly, aren't they bad for your teeth?
No,
said Discord firmly. Celestia raised an eyebrow but didn't push the point. I see you're also deathly allergic to spinach and alfalfa.
Oh, terribly.
moaned Discord, clutching his stomach.
Why, the very words strike me to the marrow.
And you're an orphan.
Yes.
All right. Celestia put down the form. Which leaves me with only one question.
And what would that be?
Asked Discord. If you wanted citizenship papers, said Celestia, why didn't you come to me directly?
What?
The forms really aren't intended to be used by the more unusual citizenship applicants, explained Celestia. They're intended to be used by people of species we've had as citizens before. If you'd come straight to me, I could have had your papers sorted out within 5 minutes. There was a long moment of silence, and then Discord screamed. Welcome back to Common Time as a Visual Pony, where I will remind you that you can support BluePawWolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every dollar helps is needed and very much appreciated, and helps to keep the lights on around here. And you want to keep the lights on around here, right? Okay, let's get into the meat of the story, because I don't think I can keep going like this for very much longer. Okay, so, oh holy shit! I mean, come on, guys! This story from... I mean, I can understand, like, only 3 blocks for the age and all that, and them not having all those things that Discord needs, like that he doesn't have parents, he's a being of pure chaos, or that Draconicus is not a race that they have in their, in their database, basically, because there is only one as far as we know. But oh my word! You've gotta love bureaucracy. I don't know how many of you actually know the old movies called Asterix and Obelix. There is actually one of those movies. I think it's called Asterix and Obelix go to Rome or conquer Rome or something like that. And there they have to do the Herculean tasks. And there's one task that they have to do is they have to go into the building that makes insane people. And this building is literally just one giant building full of bureaucracy where they're being sent from one counter to the next to fill out documents. And believe me, this scene alone is worth watching that movie. By the way, I think you can even find it on YouTube. And with this, I will say goodbye and sign off. I am Visual Pony. I hope this video finds you well in body and mind, and see you in the next one. Hello and welcome back everyone to another Pony and Wolf Productions video with your host, Visual Pony, who is me. Today we are reading the story Lanyard Up Zephyr Heights by Pip Petals. Now that in itself is a very interesting thing, because as far as I see it, Pip is actually the main character of this one. So I'm curious where this is going, because Zip and Pip, I like them. I love those two sisters to bits. I really do. And without further ado, let's get into this.
Hi Pipsqueaks of Zephyr Heights. This is your one and only Pip Petals, signing on to give you an important public service announcement. Dropping your phone. We've all done it once or twice, before we all regained flight magic. Like, I get it. You try to be careful, but sometimes your mind's on other things, or your hoofs are slippery, and it just happens. I can't tell you how many times I almost dropped my phone in the toilet. Not as many times as accidentally turning on my rear camera in the toilet, though. Yikes! Sorry, Pipsqueaks. But since the return of flight magic, the Zephyr Heights police have seen a dramatic increase in phones dropping from high altitudes. Dropping your phone a meter or two? Sure, like your screen might crack and you may lose your photos. Dropping your phone from 100 meters? 1,000 meters? That can kill. The biggest cause of accidental phone drops? Mid-air collisions. And look, I get it. Ever since Magic's return to Equestria, we're all figuring out this new flight thing. Maybe some of us are still working on getting steady air. Maybe some of us are already up there flexing our aerial stunt skills. Or maybe, like me, you're so hype about just being able to fly and you can't wait to snap some #cloud selfies. And that's all great, your experience is valid no matter what. But the biggest cause of high-altitude phone drops? Mid-air collisions due to texting while flying, and that it is a proven fact. You can ask my sister if you don't believe me. But I'll warn you, she'll bore you for 2 hours rambling about statistics. And she wonders why she can't get a date. It goes without saying that you shouldn't text, watch videos, or browse social media while flying around. Hover stationary, or better yet, pull over to the nearest cloud before you text with your BFF. Okay, so maybe you don't text while you fly. Maybe you're a very careful flyer. But even if you're not clumsy, even if you don't text while flying, some pony else around you could be. They could hit you, and you won't even have time to react. Which is why the best way to protect your phone and others below you is to wear a phone lanyard. Yesterday, the Zephyr Heights government signed into effect the phone lanyard mandate, requiring all flight-capable phone users to wear phone drop protection when flying more than 5 meters above ground. And the ZH government, so basically my mom, has recruited the biggest influencers in Zephyr Heights, so basically me, to help increase awareness about phone lanyards. Phone lanyards are super easy to use. Just secure the straps to your phone and hang it around your neck. It's that easy. In fact, I'm wearing one right now as I write this. Having a phone lanyard gives you a peace of mind that you're not going to drop your phone while cruising above the clouds. Imagine, how stressful you'll feel if you do drop your phone. Once it slips below the clouds, good luck trying to find it. Don't count on trying to chase after it either, even if you think you're a fast flyer. Let's see what my super athletic sister Zip has to say about this. She writes, "So I was flying over the clouds on my way to my usual rock climbing spot in Ghastly Gorge. I pulled out my phone to check my texts. And then some idiot Pegasus mailmare clips my wing and I lose my grip on my phone. The thing just slips out of my hoof. And as I am nosediving and chasing after my phone, all I hear that stupid mailmare saying to me is, 'I just don't know what went wrong.' Geez, big help. And yeah, I didn't catch my phone. I couldn't see the thing. The black screen just blends in with the trees below. Now my phone is destroyed, my progress on Flappy Scootaloo is gone, and I have to repair some pony's broken skylight and buy a new phone, since my phone's warranty is voided too. I should have worn a lanyard." Right. As part of the mandate, phone manufacturers are required to void your warranty if you don't wear a phone lanyard. So wear a phone lanyard, or as I like to call it, lanyard up. And I know they look kind of dorky, but with a little creativity you can customize your phone lanyard to match your personality or your luminescence. One of my best friends, Izzy Moonbow, writes, "Glitter, lots of glitter. Sprinkle glitter on the neck strap and glue some gems for an extra blingy look. Or wrap the strap with thin strips of colored aluminium foil to get a shiny metallic stripe look. Oh, you can even make a phone lanyard out of canvas and decorate it into a little purse. Add pockets for storing cards, cash, and sardine-flavored bubblegum. 'Cause you'll never know when you will need to smell like a rotten sardine." As you can read, the options are endless, so I'm not sure about the sardine-flavored gum. Izzy and I will be doing a collab livestream at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening if you want more phone lanyard decoration tips. For more discreet drop protection, you can get a nifty self-retracting phone lifeline, which is also legal under the mandate. Simply fasten the spool under your wing and attach the end of the string to your phone. The string automatically locks if you drop your phone. My sister made one of these DIY with an extra battery pack built under the spool, but you can buy a pre-made one too. Remember, as part of the mandate, all Zephyr Heights residents can get one free around-the-neck phone lanyard sent to them by mail. When you're shopping for a phone lanyard, be sure to look out for the ZH1100 compliant sticker. Fake products can be dangerous, especially non-compliant phone lifelines. String may not lock properly, or it may even break from the weight of your phone. Yikes, am I right? We recommend Cantalogic products, which have been rigorously tested by our royal lab, so basically my sister, and they are all ZH1100 compliant. Use offer code PIPCOIN for 10% off your first order. Remember, the fine for failing to comply with the lanyard mandate is 1,000 new equestrian bits, equal to ZH $5,000 in the old Pegasus currency. If you kill or injure some pony, even by accident, you could face criminal charges and jail time as well. And besides, negligent homicide by phone is like, so not poggers. So let's embrace our flight magic, pipsqueaks, while keeping our phones and our fellow citizens safe. Lanyard up, Zephyr Heights! Pip pip hooray!
Author's note.
Yo, this is Zep. So technically a falling phone would approach terminal velocity due to air resistance, so a phone dropping from 100 meters versus 1000 meters would hit the ground at about the same speed. If we assume the phone has a terminal velocity of about 20 meters per second, admittingly estimates vary wildly, and the phone is 0.15 kilograms, using a simple high school physics formula, the kinetic energy of the phone is Ke equals 1/2 times 0.15 kilograms times, in brackets, 20 meters per second square equals 30 joule. 30 joule would definitely cause injury, but it is unlikely to be lethal. Still, you absolutely should wear a phone lanyard. It's been a month and I still haven't regained my progress on Flappy Scootaloo. Zip, stop hacking my Fimfic account! It's all in the name of scientific literacy, Pip.
Hello and welcome back to Comment Time with Visual Pony, where I remind you that you can support BluePawWolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every dollar helps, is needed and very much appreciated, and helps to keep the lights on around here, and you want to keep the lights on around here, right? Okay, now I will stop talking this fast because I don't think I am the Micro Machines Man. Or am I the Micro Machines Man? I don't know if I'm the Micro Machines Man. Am I the Micro Machines Man? What are your opinions on that? Okay, let me get into the meat of the story because I can't keep on going on like this. Okay, so... wow. Basically, I just read a giant PSA. And I love it. I so love it. It so fits into the world of, of G5. But this is, I think, I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. And this is the very first time where two characters from the story are in the author's notes and I have to narrate them. This is the very first time in almost 10 years. I love it. Go over to the author's page, give them some love, vote the story up, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well in body and mind. Well, hello and welcome back to another Pony and Wolf Productions video. My name is Visual Pony and I am, as always, your host in this reading. Please, if there's a big red button down below, remember, even Blackjack knows that pressing a big red button is what they're there for. And it helps the channel. It's totally free, and I would really like to that number go up. Also, like the video if you like it, and dislike it if you dislike it. You know where that button at least used to be. So, today we are going to read the story My Student, My Friend, My Twilight by Overlord Flinks, who is an author that we have covered on this channel before, with different stories, so I think the one that you might know best is Know Your Mare. So, let's get right into this and see where this is going. How long has it been? Perhaps a year? 2 years? My, how the days fly by. Forgive me, I did not introduce myself. At times like these, introductions and other formalities seem to just skip my thoughts. I am Princess Celestia, ruler of Equestria on the whole, alongside my younger sister Princess Luna. Normally, I would carry on with other formal introductions at this point, but the idea of doing so with the thoughts currently in my head seems almost ridiculous. If you could spare me a moment, I would be honored to share my thoughts with you. Judging the fact that you haven't left as of yet, I will take it as you want to hear my story. Very well. For the first part, allow me to take you back to those foolish days of fumbling around with the unknown and freshly given, Oh, it wasn't me who was foolish. For days like that, we would have to venture as far back as 1,000 years ago. No, the days I speak of are in comparison much earlier, and involving my actions far less. Shelves towering up to the dark and spinny ceilings, perfectly crafted tables and stalls for reading, made of teak and mahogany no less, and not a single book out of place. To the young filly, Twilight Sparkle, she had finally found her haven. Only more so was that idea of a perfect haven reinforced to her as that majestic princess that so graciously approved her into the training under her own guidance walked in beside her, white wings folded nicely against her frame. "Does this all fit to your liking?" Twilight shuffled her feet a bit in surprise from Celestia's sudden words. She staggered for words, all of her years of studying any work of magic and knowledge quickly failing her. It was magic kindergarten all over again. However, Celestia tuned in on the filly's excitement and moved out in front of her, eyes glancing down to look at the little filly. The princess managed a small chuckle as she said, "I will take your actions as a powerful yes."
Yes, Your Majesty."
Hearing those words coming from such a young filly seemed out of place for the princess. Guards, nobles, and the citizens called her by Majesty or Highness. But little fillies and colts seemed a bit too innocent to her to be addressing her like that. If she was to take this one under her wing and horn, she would need to nip this right in the bud. "Please, Your Majesty seems far too formal for the sort of relationship we'll be sharing." Twilight blinked confused, the first act of an average filly as of yet. "Simply call me Princess Celestia, until such a time as you feel comfortable with just Celestia." Protest was the first thing that came to Twilight's mind, but she quickly rid herself of that idea before she crossed her teacher and princess in the wrong way.
Okay, Princess Celestia, but I think it will be a very long time, if ever at all, that I will simply address you by just your name."
Honesty, a good trait for a student. Celestia nodded and placed a gentle hoof on the filly's back with another soft chuckle. "We needn't worry about that for now. We have all the time it will take for you to master magic before we even need to worry about the time it will take for anything. For now, I will be your teacher and you will be my student." She was filled with so much potential. But even more remarkable, as the years marched on with her under my guidance and teaching, that potential expanded more and more. Even if she hadn't taken the position of my apprentice, I have no doubt in my mind that she would have only expanded in her greatness just as much. Talismanic, ceremonial, invocative, sympathetic, illusionary, divinatory. There was not a way of magic she couldn't master. However, social elements didn't come so easy to her. In fact, even now I have reservations as to if she was truly grasped it. Even so, many years ago, I could see that she had potential in that as well, just like everything else she had ever tried. So high above the bustle of Canterlot, every pony below looked just like little ants with the excluding of some sections of Pegasi fluttering by the royal balcony. Still watching the passerby, a teenage Twilight Sparkle wrote a few notes down into her log, laying on the ground beside her. While her horn controlled the quill etching into the book with a magical grasp, Twilight failed to notice her teacher come up beside her. "Twilight?" Celestia called out with some volume so that she could startle her apprentice. Sure enough, Twilight tensed up and accidentally tossed her quill off the edge of the balcony in the sudden surprise, breaking her concentration with holding the pen. She quickly took a full turn back to see the princess, quickly losing any tense nature she was having.
"Oh, it's only you, Princess. I was just taking a few notes on some of your subject's consistent patterns."
"Taking notes on consistent patterns? Is that what mares today do for fun?"
"It's not for fun, Princess. It's for research."
As Twilight corrected her princess, they both could hear a distant cry from below of, "Who's throwing pants?"
Of course. Research as always.
Twilight noticed that her book of notes began to levitate off the ground and moved towards Celestia.
But I think that's enough studies today.
But Princess!
Celestia threw a single hoof up. As for now, she wasn't having a debate.
I will be hosting a small party with some nobles throughout Equestria tonight. And as always, I'd be most honored if it were you to come with me to it.
Princess, don't you think it comes off as a bit... off?
Twilight found herself unable to say her exact words and feelings, unable to make her teacher uncomfortable.
I mean, if you keep inviting your student to all your events, it won't look as prestigious as having a gallant knight or noble around, right?
In return to this, Celestia only smiled and placed the book on a desk within the room behind her.
Twilight Sparkle, there's no pony in the world I would rather have by my side than you at these events. You are far more than just my student.
A hoof found its way to Twilight's mane, patting it warmly.
You are also...
my friend. And what a friend she was. It had been 1,000 years since I had a friend like her. For as long as those years stretch back to, I've been very lonely. My years much unlike none other. Accepting friendship is not an easy task for me when I know that I will outlast them by so very long. But Twilight Sparkle is different. She personifies some of the best traits my old friends embodied. Wisdom, a headstrong nature, tenacity, and prospect. It was her prospect mixed with all these that really amazed me. At times, when I'm alone with my sister, I feel a bit prideful when I speak of my work with Twilight. I'm definitely aware that, even if I hadn't come by, she would have grown into just as mighty a pony. But even still, I am proud to know that I helped raise her to the level she is. Even more so, I was gifted enough to have such a tentative student as my own. I was honored to have a friend with such traits as her. And above anything in the world, perhaps this very universe.
Sister? Yes, Luna, were you saying something? I was. Were you not heeding your attention to my words? I'm sorry, I just had something flash through my head. Twilight Sparkle? Yes, how did you know? If it's not Twilight Sparkle, sister, it is I or our kingdom. Seeing as that we are home, and you are blatantly ignoring my words, it must be the first of three. Did you say something? Sister! I'm only teasing, but you're right. I was merely having a thought. I ask that thou explains it to me, for I see that my story will not be able to continue as long as this thought consumes thy mind. Again, sorry, Luna, but you see, without you around, she had been the only one I found warmth in talking to. I mean, after you were sent away and Starswell was, well... My point being that it had been a long time of me being alone. That much is highly certain. That's why I feel almost blessed. No, that's why I do feel blessed. I was blessed to teach her. I was honored to have her as a friend. But more so...
I was given a miracle to even know such an amazing mare. Not since my own sister have I ever been so blessed. My student, my friend, one of my greatest gifts. Okay, hello and welcome back to Common Thomas Visual Pony, where I'll remind you that you can support BluePawWolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every little help is needed and very much appreciated, and now let's get into the meat of the story, because I want to say a few things. Okay, now, Celestia talking about her experiences teaching Twilight is definitely one of those things that I think she would talk to other ponies about, because let's face it, Celestia is proud of Twilight like heck. Like, she's proud of her as fuck. Twilight is basically her legacy, her living legacy. And what she says here at the end. My student, my friend, one of my greatest gifts. That can mean so many things. It can, on one end, it can mean that Celestia has fallen for Twilight. I have seen so many people shipping Twilight and Celestia. However, it can also mean that she's seeing her as a kind of daughter, you might almost say. You know, that she's proud of Twilight because she sees herself as a motherly figure to Twilight. Which also I see a lot of people making their headcanon in the fandom. However, what I also see here, what it could mean, is that she's simply proud that she helped this young mare who had a lot of potential to reach the level that she's at. And the one of my greatest gifts here could mean not a gift to her, but her gift to the world. Meaning she's proud of her role in shaping Twilight. See, just this last sentence here, one of my greatest gifts, can mean so many things, but the end is made so much better through it. Anyhow, this is all the time I have for this video. I am Visual Pony, sincerely yours, and I hope that this video finds you well in body and mind. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Pony and Wolf Productions video. My name is Visual Pony. I'm your host today, and we are reading the story What's in the Box, written by an author that we have covered on this channel before, named Daemon of Decay. You might know him from his story Asylum that I also covered, though it was in my early days, so please excuse me if the quality wasn't up to snuff. So, let's get into this, and let's see what's in the box. It was a box. A plain cardboard box. It was indistinguishable from any of its thousands of siblings. Simple, brown, and cuboid, it looked perfectly suited to fulfill its life's purpose. Storage. It held all the best characteristics one looked for in a shipping receptacle. No ink marred its paper flesh and no stains soiled its outer shell. It was as nondescript as its countless clones, with nary a mark against it. Indeed, Luna was certain that the box, with its durable construction and firm lines, was well prepared for a lifetime of selfless storage duty. Or, more accurately, it would have been destined for a life of anonymous toil, but no longer. It had become something more. It had evolved. The long lengths of tape across the top effectively locked its contents, if any, behind walls of featureless but sturdy paper construct. What normally would have been a simple storage container was transformed into an unspoken question that hung in the air. An itch that could not be scratched. A thirst that could not be quenched. Curiosity was a natural reaction. Every pony wants to know what is behind a closed door, locked away in a drawer, or hidden beneath a curtain. They were questions that demanded to be answered by right of their mere existence. While an open box was a functioning tool, the paper cube before her had transcended its original purpose. It was no longer a box. It was a mystery. On the other hoof, there were plenty of other sealed cardboard boxes in Equestria. This one, even with its secrets and tape, was nothing special in and of itself. Luna had seen millions of them in her long life, and one more would normally not warrant but the most fleeting moment of distracted attention. Not every question provoked a desire to seek out an answer because not every question was equal. Like the ponies that pondered them, some mysteries are just more attractive than others. One does not wonder how each and every grain of sand has found its way onto the beach. A mystery needs something more, some brilliant spark, to fill the breast of an observer with wonder. In the box's particular case, that essential spark came from its location, for it was sitting before Luna's bed. Luna slowly circled the cardboard box again. There was nothing to hint at its contents. No handles to peek through, no tag to catch the eye, not even a maker's logo. No pony had written on its sides in marker or placed a note upon it to educate the curious. The box was a granite mountain in the distant mist, inscrutable and silent. The only sound was a steady clip-clop of her hoofs on the stone floor as she circled her nemesis. Luna had lost track of how many times she had passed around the object, her great mind obsessed with the mystery before her. The box told her nothing, yet promised so much. Like a carnival barker, it enticed and intrigued with tales of what could be found within its striped tent. Freaks, phantasms, and foreign treasures could all be found, it promised, if she would but step inside. Yet the promises were hollow. The box made no guarantees that it would astound or amaze her, yet that possibility couldn't be denied either. With his gaudy suits, slick mane, and cheap smiles, the barker knew all well as any psychologist the power of imagination. His words were designed to feed curiosity, to let one's own mind do the heavy lifting. He was the appetizer, the window display, meant to whet the appetite and leave the onlookers hungry for the main course. There was only one way to know, it said, with a knowing smirk. Truth, lies, or something in between. Whatever the fact of his claims were, the only way to know was to put down some bits and step inside. The answers could be hers so easily, yet still she hesitated. After all, obtaining the answer would kill the enigma, and with it, the very thing that made the box unique in a world filled with identical facsimiles. The box had become more than a container. The question was a part of its very being now. To destroy that was to destroy an essential part of the box. It had transcended its purpose as a mere receptacle and become a powerful question in its own right. The box and the mystery had become intertwined, symbiotic ideas that thrived beneath the Luna's curious gaze. And the question only lived as long as it remained unanswered. If she were to open the box, she would end the mystery. She would murder the question. The fact that Luna herself was an existential threat to the box and its unanswered riddle was both frightening and intoxicating. After all, the question only existed in her own mind, and thus was hers and hers alone. Others might share curiosity about the unknown contents, but theirs would be a different question. A product of a different being with a different life and different experiences. She was truly master and creator of this mystery. It existed to either be answered or be forgotten, as her will dictated. It was a disturbing concept, having so much power over another thing, even one that was merely a thought. Part of her rebelled against the notion of killing the question just to slake her own curiosity. Why not let it exist as it was, an unanswered question? Her tail twitched in irritation as she circled the box once more. No, she could not leave the box to sit unmolested, never revealing what the truth of its contents were. That was only a different form of death sentence. As much as it pained her, the mystery of the box was, like all life, destined to one day perish. Its existence was not eternal, for it relied upon her curiosity like a flower required sunlight. She could stash the box somewhere else, somewhere far from her gaze, it was true. Inevitably, though, the box and its contents would slip from her mind and the mystery would die. Even if she were to keep it close enough to keep the idea refreshed, familiarity would rob the question of its impact. In time, boredom and complacency would do what her hoofs had not, sapping her interest until there was nothing left to feed the mystery. The moment Luna had laid her eyes upon the cardboard box, its fate had been sealed. The mystery at the core of its identity would perish at Luna's hoofs one way or another. Certainly, then, the manner of how she ended its existence was irrelevant if the outcome was inescapable. Or did it possess the... Her thoughts were interrupted by a muffled shriek of frustration from outside her room. Luna spun around and spread her wings in alarm as the heavy oak doors were thrown open with a powerful burst of magic. Splinters of ancient wood tearing free around the broken hinges. The towering figure of her sister stood framed in the doorway, burning brightly like a phoenix reborn. She glared at Luna through narrowed eyes as she ground her teeth together, the veins on her forehead visible as she flared her nostrils.
It's cake! I put a cake in the box! It was an early birthday surprise!
She jabbed an accusing hoof at her sister.
And I've been watching you just walk around the damnable thing for the past 2 hours! 2 hours, Luna! 2 hours! You don't need to treat everything like a great philosophical quandary! Sometimes a box is just a box!
With an exasperated groan, Celestia turned and stormed back out, muttering something about moon-addled foals under her breath. The sound of her furious hoofsteps only ended with the distant bang of her own bedroom doors being slammed shut. Silence reigned, broken only by the occasional soft cry from her wooden doors as they struggled to remain upright.
"Oh,"
said Luna eventually. She turned back to glance at the box, frowning.
"Well, way to ruin the surprise, sister."
Hello and welcome everyone to Comment Time with Visual Pony, where I remind you that you can support PonyWolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every dollar helps is needed and very much appreciated. And now I will stop talking this quickly because there are a few things that I want to note here. Okay. It is very much obvious that the person writing this and the person who edited it are very likely not native English speakers, because there are some grammatical errors in here that I mostly subconsciously corrected while narrating it, so you will very likely not even notice them. However, it's not quite up to the standards that I'm used to from Damon of Decay, but I still like it. So, the whole thing here at the end with Luna saying, well, way to ruin the surprise, sister, that is just wow. Just wow. And Celestia's reaction, saying you don't have to treat everything like it is some great philosophical quandary. Yes, that's good. I like it. Anyway, sincerely yours, Visual Pony. I hope you enjoyed the story and that it will find you well in body and mind.